everyone, and welcome back to Rival Talk for Week 11 of the 2021 NFL season. As always, I'm your host, and yes, because his team came back and had a big victory this week, he's decided to come back out of hiding and join us. So, Marcus, welcome back.
Hey, yes, I am back. It was a long week off.
Right, funny how that works. Your team gets a miracle victory, and suddenly you want to come back.
I was halfway hiking in Colorado. I was out of the country, or no, out of the state. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, to just get away from everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get in touch with nature. Yep.
Exactly.
The Niners, and more specifically Nebraska sports, have just broken you completely, from what I gather.
Yeah. Nebraska ball. My boys, they lost to my most hated team, Creighton, yesterday, and that was a long night, let me just tell you.
Yeah, I saw the posts.
Yep, still reeling from that one, but luckily the Niners did something to not make the week a total wash.
Right. That was quite a miracle, and unfortunately, at the same time, it kind of screwed over both our records for the picks. I'm sure you don't care, though. You'll take the win. So that made you 1-4 for the week, and me 2-3, which brings us to a tie at a astounding 20-23. So yeah, we're just rolling right along through the season, just masters of picks here this year. So one of us has to be over 500 in order to win the bet. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah. Since I took the lead at, I believe, 17-13, I've just been horrible.
Well, I haven't been able to take advantage, so we got more games coming up. Obviously, this week we're doing the AFC side, so AFC plus our teams, that's going to be 6 games, and next week we'll have the 7 with Thanksgiving and then the other ones. So luckily for you, there's no lock still this week, so you get a break from that.
Yeah, my locks have been, I would assume I've been under 500 on my quote-unquote locks.
Yeah, I would have to assume so as well. But yeah, one question I have that I was going to bring up last week, but you unfortunately were doing some soul searching last week. Right now, this how crazy this season's been. There really is no clear-cut favorite, I feel like, for the Super Bowl. Like, I would have said, the Buccaneers, maybe the Rams, but then after this past weekend, both teams losing, like, now it's a total crapshoot. So, like, you could have maybe 10, 11 teams you could say who could, say, hey, maybe they could win the Super Bowl, but there's no clear-cut favorite, I'd say, at this point.
No, I couldn't, gun to my head, there's no way I could pick a favorite for the Super Bowl right now. Like you said, there's 10. I'd probably have to go through it and actually, list them off, but there's probably 10 teams that you could say have a legitimate shot, and maybe even closer to 12, 15.
Sure. Unfortunately, we are not any of those teams, unfortunately.
No, it's going to take a lot of work to get back to that.
If I had to say, I guess right now you have to say the Titans, but, how far long can they keep going without Derrick Henry? Their defense has really come on strong, so that's really what I feel like could be a key for them, but outside of that, like how long could they last without Derrick Henry?
Absolutely, but the thing is, if he really does come back for Week 1 of the playoffs, like is what they're targeting, he could be rested. That could be huge. You never know.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a bad injury, and you never know how it's going to react. But if he does come back for Week 1 of the playoffs, that could just be very, very big for them. Especially if they get the number 1 seed and have a bye.
Definitely the bye. Yeah.
That's an extra week.
Yeah. Then over in the fantasy land, we both suffer losses. My collapse just continues. I'm now 7-3 after starting 7-0, so I'm just totally collapsing right now. And then you lost with the fiance this week in a critical matchup. It was a critical matchup for both of you. So, you might be finding yourself on the outside now, looking in for the playoffs. So you got some work to do yourself there. So you're at 4-6. So
yeah, it's been a rough year, and just Justin Herbert, my quarterback, we were just talking about before this, he's been the reason I think my team is inconsistent this year. Like, goes as he goes. When he has a good week, sometimes I win. When he doesn't, I don't.
Yep, it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
Seems like you have some struggles playing against this household over here, it seems like, though. As long as it's not the playoffs.
Not in the playoffs, but but I might not make it this time.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't say that this year, though. So, hey, at this rate, I might not even make it.
Oh, God. Okay.
Total collapse over here.
Sure.
We'll get into the picks then now. So like I said, this week we got the AFC side of things. So last week we did NFC. This week we're just focusing on AFC matchups. So that's 5 AFC matchups, and we'll get to our teams later. So Marcus, how about you just run right through it? Just give me all your picks for those 5 games. Just run right through it.
All right. I got the Bills over the Indianapolis Colts by 2. I got Miami Dolphins over New York Jets by 4. We're going to go Tennessee Titans over Houston Texans by 10. Cincinnati Bengals over Las Vegas Raiders by 4. And last but not least, or maybe least, I don't know, Pittsburgh over the Chargers by 1.
All right. All right. Well, I also have Bills over Indianapolis by 2. Dolphins by 4. Their defense seems to have refound its 2020 form. Titans, I mean, that's an easy one. That's basically a lock. Titans over Houston by 10. By 11. I was looking at yours. I got them by 11. And you know what? I'm making a last-second change here. Instead of the Bengals, give me the Raiders by 2. I was originally going Bengals by 3, but you know what? Last-second change here. I'm going Raiders by 2. We'll see if it pays off or not. And then
that one was the toughest pick, even over the Pittsburgh Chargers one. I had a problem with that one just because Cincinnati's not playing as well as they would.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
that is a tough one.
That is. So I'm making that last-second change here. We'll see if it pays off. It might come back and haunt me the rest of the season. Then I'm taking the Chargers by 4. So now instead of having one difference, we will have 2 differences. So either we both are going to just continue to suck, or one of us can finally pull our heads out of the water and start swimming above the water here a little bit.
Just see if one of us can get above 500.
Exactly. That's all we need at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yep, there you have it. There's our picks for this week, the AFC side of things. So, Marcus, why don't we get into your Miracle Niners now? It just continues on the theme of this crazy season. You never know what's going to happen from week to week. So.
No, you sure don't. I literally, I had a friend over to watch the game with me, and we were downstairs playing Nintendo Switch, and I came up to turn on the game, and I was like 30 seconds late, and I missed that first interception that Jimmy Ward had of Matthew Stafford. Some fan I am, but it like happened so quick, I had no idea what was going on, and then I believe the very next defensive possession, or maybe it was a few.
No, it was the very next. I think it was very next.
Yeah, and then he had a pick 6. So Jimmy Ward missed the game before that. He's I don't know if he's our best defensive player, probably not best, but he certainly is possibly the most important besides Nick Bosa, I would say. He's the enforcer in that secondary, and he's the crafty veteran. He's the longest tenured 49er at the moment. I believe this is his 8th year in San Francisco. So, yeah, we needed him bad, and he made a huge difference at the beginning, and we really just never looked back after that. That was quite the game. We didn't really. I don't feel like it was ever in question that entire game. No. I guess.
You got any trade secrets you want to share with us up here? Because we seem to struggle with the Rams. That you've won 5 straight against them now. So Any secrets you want to share how to beat these guys?
I honestly don't know what it is, but it's one of those things where Shanahan seems to own Sean McVay.
Oh,
and I
for
thought
sure.
maybe it was just Jared Goff, but now it's continued into the Matthew Stafford era. So hopefully it continues, because I cannot stand. As you can't either. Cannot stand the Rams. Cannot stand Sean McVay. So taking that smirk off his face every once in a while is good. I have to say one thing I enjoyed thoroughly about that game was, I believe it was after Stafford threw an interception, they showed him on the TV yelling obscenities into his play calling sheet, and I think I replayed that a few times because I just got a lot of joy out of that. I'm petty.
Yeah, must be nice to own Sean McVay. I wish I knew how it felt.
Well, you kind of own the 49ers, so you know how it feels.
Well, yeah, but that's been going on for a while, so.
Yeah. Besides Nick Mullins, of course. Somehow Nick Mullins got you a couple years ago. That was the last time, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I guess just to kind of sum up that game in general, it's just we looked like we did, the first half of the Detroit game, or I guess the Bears game was kind of all right. Just we just have the it factor, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it comes from, but
yeah, it looked like 2019.
Yeah,
physical, running the ball. Yeah, that looked like a 2019 team.
Yeah, I believe we ran it over 40 times, and which is crazy. So yeah. Oh yeah, even Deebo Samuel got in on the running action. Yeah, I think he had 5 carries, if I remember right. Which, by the way, Deebo Samuel has basically just turned himself into a wide receiver 1 this year. He's been awesome.
Yeah, he's definitely come back strong.
Good about him.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's about all. I don't really have it was all good.
So what are your keys then for this week? I do have to say, I think we talked about a little bit. Coming off this kind of game the Niners had, this could be a trap game for the Niners against Jacksonville.
Oh, 100% it could be. And plus they're traveling cross country to play in Jacksonville, so it's definitely and I've seen them play bad this year. They can definitely muck it up with the best of them. So they could go into Jacksonville and lay a complete egg. I have no doubts that could happen. But if I had to say what the keys were, definitely control the clock. Just keep the defense as fresh as it can. Lot more running would be nice. Elijah Mitchell did fracture his finger. He's supposed to still play, but if he doesn't, we got Jeff Wilson Jr. back, and he's fully healthy and in shape now. So I'm not worried too much about that. I would almost want him to sit a game. Not just because I think we got this in the bag, because I don't, but I don't know.
Long term,
with injuries with the Niners, I like to take it easy, and let's just make sure he's healthy before we bring him back, so we don't make something worse, type of thing.
Mm-hmm, right.
So yeah, the keys would definitely be establish the run majorly and control the clock. That would be my number 1. Number 2 would be to actually get some sacks this time, because we had some pressure in the Rams game, but I want to say we only had 1 quarterback sack, which is kind of crazy with how good the defense played. We weren't really getting a whole ton of pressure. So if you rattle Trevor Lawrence, he's going to turn the ball over. He's been doing it. If he gets rattled, he turns it over.
He'll do it even without being rattled.
Yeah, so you got to get to him. You have to actually get home. It's just seems like we've been getting pressure all year for the most part. Maybe not last game, but then we just don't actually complete the sack, and it's very frustrating at times. So that'd be my key, is to not just get the pressure, but to actually take the quarterback down. And if I had to give a third key, I would say get the balls to your playmakers, Deebo and Kittle on offense specifically. Just keep hammering them with targets. They're your best players for a reason. Got to get them the ball.
All right, sounds good. So, what's your line then? What's your pick?
Well, like you said, it could be a trap game. I could definitely see it happening, but the smart pick, I have to say, is the 49ers. So I'm going to go 49ers by 7.
All right. If I was picking this game, I'd probably pick Jacksonville.
Hopefully, I would love to let you pick Jacksonville so I could try to get a 2-game swing on.
Oh, well, you'd have to pick the Seahawks-Cardinals game then if we did that.
Okay.
All right, a little technical difficulties there, but so we're gonna add in this game then, I guess. So I'm gonna take Jacksonville. I'm gonna take Jacksonville by 2. Like I said, I think it's a trap game coming off the type of game that the Niners just had and traveling across country. Jacksonville's been playing better as of recently, so I think Urban Meyer digs his fingers into this one and pulls out a win.
All right, we'll see what happens. I'm going to wait for your analysis to pick that Seahawks game.
Well, you might be waiting a while because I really don't have much analysis. There's not much to talk about when your team gets shut out and for the first time in over 10 years. Really is nothing to talk about that Packers game. All I can say, I guess, is there is one thing, I guess. Hell has frozen over Jamal Adams' interception. Believe it or not, of all the guys that get an interception off, it's Aaron Rodgers. So why the heck not in this kind of season? So yeah, that's probably the best thing that happened from this past weekend. I do want to say, I know this is going to sound petty of me, but I do have to just say the officiating this game was awful. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights or anything, Marcus, but there were definitely some ticky-tacky calls. I'm not blaming the loss on it. If you score no points, that's not on the refs. That's on you. But there definitely were some questionable, momentum swinging type calls there. So there was that interception Kevin King had where apparently defenders don't have to finish the catch to the ground because, he caught it, went to the ground, but as soon as he went to the ground, it popped out. So I thought that was an incomplete pass.
I did see that. That was bad.
Yeah,
in my opinion, it was bad.
I thought that was incomplete, but, at the same time, Russell cannot make that throw. That was a god-awful throw from Russell, so take it or leave it, Then the other one, off the top of my head, I think of, there's two more. The holding call on Damian Lewis, where he gets bulldozed, he gets bull rushed and knocked over, but he gets called for holding. Yeah, that makes total sense there, and that took them out of field goal range there. Then the Darrell Taylor fumble recovery, where Rodgers, I forgot what the play was, but there was definitely a fumble, and clear as day, you could see Darrell Taylor come up with the ball before Rodgers grabbed it, but for some reason, Rodgers grabbed it first or simultaneously, apparently. Here we go again with simultaneous stuff in a Packers-Seahawks game. But yeah, those are three that really, really stood out and were really, again, I'm not blaming the officiating, but at the same time, they were momentum type, kind of calls there. So that didn't help at all. Of course, in a game where your offense isn't doing jack crap, that's not going to help. But yeah, just you score 0 points. It doesn't matter what's going on. You don't deserve to win the game. Russell, like I said, he came back too early. He should not have been back. Honestly, I feel like with Geno, they would have at least scored a touchdown. I feel like so. Clearly, there was a throw to Tyler Lockett. He was 12 yards away, and Russell sails it about 15 yards over his head. I have never seen that from Russell in his 10 years. So clearly, the finger was not right still. No matter, like I said it last week, you weren't here, but I'm sure you watched the video. I said it, I'll believe it when I see it with the finger being 100%, and yeah, I didn't believe it. There was no way it was 100%. So
you said a lot of things last week, by the way.
I just said what was there. I just what was given to me on the script. I just spoke what was given to me.
There's some ad lib. I'll just leave it at that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, as we digress. Yeah, that's all I really have from that game. I figured we would lose that game, but just the fashion we did it was ridiculous. The defense was good, but got to have offense. This week, Cardinals, with or without Kyler Murray, I don't know. I have a good gut feeling about this. Either way, with or without Kyler Murray, because if Kyler and DeAndre play, they're not going to be 100%. Suddenly, our secondary has gone from our weakness to our strength, thanks in large part to Trey Brown. I'm really happy this guy is just shining, and he had a huge play against Devontae Adams too. He got physical and had a good pass breakup against Devontae Adams, so that was really cool to see. He's been balling out, so I think he's definitely going to be a stud here coming up soon in the future. But yeah, against the Cardinals. If I had to give 3 keys, I could only write 2 down, so I'll try to think of a third one off the top of my head. But score points, I mean, that's pretty obvious. As John Madden would say, the team who scores the most points is going to win the game. So score points. You can't win the game if you don't score points. Secondly, I'm going to keep harping on this. I know we had one last week, should have had 2, but we had one last week. Takeaways. This defense, they're doing better. They're bending but not breaking. But they've got to start getting that ball. They've got to start finding ways to create turnovers and just start getting that ball, taking that ball away. They say it comes in bunches. I said this last week. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if it comes in bunches, I'd like to see 3 or 4 this week, especially if Colt McCoy comes in. Although we all know what happened last year when Colt McCoy came in. Anyways, yeah, third key. I don't know. I really don't have anything. Coach better, I guess. You all know I've made my opinions about Pete Carroll very public. Yeah, just let Shane Waldron be Shane Waldron and get here we go. Here's a key. Get D. Eskridge more involved. He was back last week, but he was only in on like 5 or 6 snaps. Let's get D. Eskridge more involved. Get more of that pre-snap motion going and more of that those sweeps and all that. So let's get that going more. There's your third key. So.
Do you think that was more just a conditioning type thing, or?
I really don't know because they really didn't talk about it much. So I don't know. Yeah, that's all I've got. So like I said, I just have this gut feeling. I'm taking the Seahawks by 1. I have a good gut feeling about this. It's a divisional game. We saw the other night with the Rams-Niners. Anything can happen, especially within divisions, especially this season. So, yeah, give me the Seahawks to just barely keep themselves alive in this playoff race, taking them by 1. So, yeah, after that, Marcus, what are you going with?
Well, although I kind of agree with you and I don't like this whole Colt McCoy thing, to make it a little more spicy, I'm going to go Cardinals by 1.
All right.
Let's just throw in another difference there. Let's just see what happens.
So we have 4 differences, man. I'm screwed this week.
This is going to be a week.
This
is a week of.
This could be the week. This could be the week that makes or breaks it for us.
It could, or we could both somehow do bad. I don't know how.
Yeah.
And fall farther below 500.
We've got 4. We've got 3 of the same and 4 differences. So yeah, this.
Oh.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens then. High drama here.
Yes.
Oh wow! I totally forgot something. Wow.
I know. I was just going to remind you.
Well,
do that in the middle.
On that programming note, Pooch Picks. We totally forgot about that one because I didn't even write it down. So yeah, we got Drake in first place now. The newcomer in first place, 7-5. I want to say 7-5. Dog just totally collapsing like my fantasy football team. He's all the way down at 6-6 now after starting 6-2. And well, folks, it's happened. Henry, the reigning champ, has been booted out. He sits at 3-8. So I guess we're gonna see this week. We may have a new contender. I'm gonna have to try and work this in there with the little graphic, but we'll see. We'll see who's taking over for Henry this week if there is someone taking over. So. Yeah, Pooch Picks, Week 11, here we go.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
All right, Pooch Picks, Week 11. Steelers-Chargers, Sunday Night Football this week. The OG has now lost 4 in a row, if I'm correct, putting him at 6-6. And Drake has taken over first place. So yeah, he's fallen to second place, but still well ahead of Henry, or possibly Annabelle now. We'll see. Yeah, here we go. Steelers at Chargers Sunday night. Place the treats down. Some shredded cheese this week. So, the OG, go ahead. Make a pick. Who are you picking? Go ahead. Who are you choosing? And he's rolling with the Steelers. So, he's taking the Steelers to take down the Chargers on Sunday Night Football this week. The team that just tied with the Lions. All right. All right, now we have the new lead dog for the moment. Ready to make his pick between the Steelers and Chargers. Sitting at 7-5 and in first place now. We'll see who Drake chooses in this week's matchups for Pooch Picks. That's Steelers. Hey. No cheating. That's some cheating. Now you can make your pick. Who are you choosing? Go ahead. And you're going to stick with the Steelers. All right. Had to make sure it was fair and that you weren't just going for the first one. So, choosing the Steelers, though, overall. So, both dogs in this household choosing the Steelers. We'll see what happens in the French household.
What up? Time for another week of Pooch Picks, and looks like Henry is being benched. He's going to do the make the bed for Annabelle, but she just sits there and won't move. So here's Pittsburgh. Here's the Chargers. She has no idea what's going on. Let's get these Cheez-Its here. Hey, which one do you want? Look at these treats. Annabelle, come here. Come, Annabelle. Look at this. You want a treat? Oh my God. Okay, I had to officially start a new video because we were going on a minute and I can't send you a video over a minute. This is ridiculous. Hey, Annabelle. Look at this. Look, Annabelle. Do you want a treat? Annabelle, do you want a treat? Oh my gosh, finally. Look, right. Annabelle, do you want a treat? Oh my God, it's a miracle. The Chargers. Do you want that one too? Yes or no? Unbelievable. Sorry, bro.
And we are back, so there you have it. We're back after about 5 years. Our our newcomer, Annabelle, doesn't quite understand it, I guess. A little bit of Drake, a little bit like Drake. I think her and Drake would be good friends, it seems like.
Probably.
Yeah, that took some time there. So, but Annabelle, first pick. Henry was in the room to consult, but of course you don't want to listen to Henry this year. I'm sure Henry was saying pick Pittsburgh, so that's why Annabelle, being smart, went and chose the Chargers.
Yeah, it was. I didn't want I had to get the treats closer to her, but I didn't want to influence her vote. So it was like a tough balance I was playing. But she just had no idea what was going on. So she needs a little more practice. She'll get into it. But
right.
Week 1 was, I don't know if you'd call it a success or not. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we sure will find out. So again, I absolutely despise my dogs. They've picked Pittsburgh every time they've had a chance to pick Pittsburgh this year. So maybe sleeping outside for a little bit and some no treats. That's just unacceptable. So
yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Annabelle can get the French household back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, her record will be attached to what Henry's done, but
we'll put a little parentheses.
On the side just to see how good she does.
Yeah, we'll put a little parentheses on there to see how she does. So
yeah, we got a lot going on with these Pooch Picks.
Playing for the future now out there.
Exactly. This is like Trey Lance coming in a little bit early, but we'll see what happens.
All right, well, that brings us then to the top 5. I'm not forgetting anything else, I believe. So top 5. Marcus, go ahead. What do you got?
All right. Honorable mentions. I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and for the first time this season, the New England Patriots.
I hate seeing them back there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They started 2-4, and now are they 6-4? So pretty nice run for them right now. All right, so number 5, I'm going to go Los Angeles Rams. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Number 3, I have a tie between Dallas and Arizona. 2, Tennessee Titans. And number 1 for now, I'll go Green Bay Packers.
All right. For me, honorable mention, dropping Arizona down there in the honorable mention. Dropping the LA Rams as well in the honorable mention. Those aren't biases at all. Kansas City as well, creep back up in the honorable mentions. They seem to have turned it around. How unfortunate, or fortunate, depending on your view. I don't mind them, but I'm sure some people around here do mind them.
Yeah, can't stand them. But I'm doing the same thing.
I wonder why. All right, then top 5. I got the Bucks at number 5, Bills at number 4, Cowboys up at number 3, Packers at 2, and keeping the Titans up there at number 1. The Titans are just the hottest team right now. So with how wishy-washy it is this year, teams, how crazy the season is. These are changing dramatically every week, but Titans staying up there for a second straight week. So.
Yeah, I never would have thought I would leave Tampa Bay out of the top 5 this year.
Not at all. I have them just they're teetering for me, but I'm sure they'll get right back at it. So there you have it. Marcus, any final thoughts before we head out?
I don't really have any final thoughts at the moment. Mostly my final thoughts will be on before we talk again, I'll have gone to 3 more basketball games, and hopefully we don't suck at those. That's what my mind's on right now.
Rest in peace. Thought and prayer.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, not any better with Husky basketball out here. Although I think they've won 2 games, but they're against mountain Montana trees and stuff. But better than the football team did. So.
Yeah, how about that?
I guess. Hey, let's give a shout out. Finally, Jimmy Lake is gone. So brighter days ahead, depending on who fills in there. So.
Do you have any inkling as to
what's his name? I've heard. Is it Hunter Wilcox or something like that? Something Wilcox, which I hope does not.
Was he your defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I hope that does not happen. But Chip Kelly's been rumored. I wouldn't mind that because he's a good college coach. But we'll see. I honestly don't have any clue outside of that, but we'll see.
What about the old man that retired, Chris Peterson?
Oh man, that's a pipe dream. That's a pipe dream. That's the only way this thing gets turned around like that. So
he's had a little rest. He might be ready to come back for another 5 years or so.
That would be nice, especially since we have Sam Heward waiting in the wings there. So
better do something or else he might leave.
Yeah, exactly. firing Jimmy Lake is a plus. Hey, quick note here. This is the first time that there will be 2 coaches on each side of the mountains that will not coach in the Apple Cup, because Jimmy Lake, Nick Rolovich, both gone before they could coach in an Apple Cup. So, yeah. So that's going to be who. If the Cougars don't win the Apple Cup this year, though, they're never going to win it again, because they should win it. So.
Yeah, I feel like you guys own Washington State more than any other team, don't you?
Oh yeah. 7 or 8 straight against them. So I want that 10 straight, but.
Yeah, I'm not putting it past you. I know that they've had a better, maybe an overall better year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not gonna ever pick Washington State against Washington ever.
Smart man.
Yep.
All right, well, there we have it for this week. So yeah, Thanksgiving coming up next week, so another 7 picks next week. So yeah, we'll look forward to feasting into that. So.
Cannot wait. That's food and football. It doesn't get much better.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. All right. Well, with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. And as always, go Hawks.